Hello, my dear friends and fellow brethren in Christ. With a heavy heart that I am sending to you this 5 minutes clip. You might have heard the seriousness of COVID pandemic infection in India. The number is rising up so fast, and it's so great. And I I was holding my breath back how to again make an appeal, but the situation is worsening, and some of our very dear people are getting affected. So I'm making this appeal that if the Lord speaks to you, the Spirit of God inspires you, please do some gift in a very small way or whatever way the Lord leads you, and may God bless you, and it will be of great help in India. So I am trying to share screen, and some of the clips I'd like to just provide to you. Just a minute. So this is the news. The news. You can watch this. Why the US care about India's second COVID-19 wave. Why the US should care about? Because that's what we are facing. I am appealing to my US friends this request. Just listen to this.
India is now experiencing a surge that's on a level that we have not seen before. Certainly, even in India over the last year, they were relatively luckier than most countries of their size. There are a lot of theories behind that. However, in the last 24 hours alone, they've had 300,000 cases, and that's most certainly an undercount because there is not widespread testing. So the fact that we're seeing in some parts of
I'm sorry, it is trying to.
3 or 1 in 4 people testing positive is actually, again, an underestimate. There is very little public health infrastructure in India, and certainly in most of the country, you see incredibly crowded and cramped environments. It is virtually impossible to exhibit social distance, and because of the lack of public health infrastructure, really very little testing and tracing. In the beginning of the pandemic, there was a conscious effort to try to have contact tracing and people going door to door and doing tests, but that was when the country was under a lockdown. Even a lockdown was really difficult to enforce in India. When you're dealing with a country of 1 billion people, it just becomes logistically impossible.
This virus variant, it's a variant of interest, the B1617 lineage. This was first detected and reported by India, having 2 mutations, the E484Q and the L452R. Those are specific mutations within the genome. This was reported by scientists out of India.
So in particular, the World Health Organization has flagged, and so have other health authorities, the B1617 variant, a variant of concern, which means that it does have significant clinical risk and that it could be not just more infectious, but potentially more deadly. And it's of real concern because it has something called the double mutant virus or double mutation virus, in that it has a series of mutations in 2 parts of the spike protein that make it easier to attach, infect, and replicate. It is the newest iteration of the virus's mutations that could potentially put even vaccinated populations at risk. The fact that we have very, very smart variants with mutations that are incredibly infectious in a country where you cannot keep people isolated, quarantined, or 6 feet apart reasonably, and on top of that, a non-existent kind of health or public health infrastructure, that is why we're seeing cases skyrocket. Why now as compared to before? Lots of hypotheses, lots of theories, but at a minimum, this tells us that this was an opportunity for the virus, which in other parts of the world does not have a host because people are getting vaccinated, has turned to places like Brazil and India where there are not as many vaccinated people. And as a result, India's hospitals are completely full. There is now rationing of everything, including doctors, nurses, oxygen, bed supplies. And in fact, many Indian health officials are telling people, especially in New Delhi and other places, that if you can get resources in your own home, you'll be better off than trying to come into a hospital where you will likely not be able to receive oxygen or attention. That's translated, of course, to tens of thousands of deaths over the last several weeks, and that number is certain to climb over the next weeks because India had had a lockdown previously. There is no desire politically from a country or even at a state level to lock down. India had rebuffed deals with kind of the leading vaccine manufacturers such as Pfizer, but instead now, in light of its cases, is importing vaccines such as the Sputnik V vaccine from Russia, as well as the CanSino vaccine from China. And it's posing a risk now because there's just not enough vaccine supply for not only India's population, but even in the hotspots to kind of deal with the cases that are rising. Ironically, in every aspect, including vaccines, India is one of the largest exporter of vaccines because it is a large manufacturing source for drugs and vaccines in general. So this is posing risk at a time when India thought it had escaped the worst by not experiencing the surges over the last year, but in the last several weeks is now facing its own internal crisis with a lack of vaccine supply. So all in all, it creates a recipe for disaster. Where it impacts the United States is that we.
So, beloved, this report was on April 16th, and the day that I'm presenting this clip is on April 26th. And during these 10 days, the number of cases have gone up to 350,000 a day, but actually they say it could be 500,000 cases a day. So in this situation, I want to get your attention on how our people are suffering. You know, our people, when I say in our network churches, our pastors, and people who are underprivileged to go into any treatment sake. So let me just tell you about, present to you a small clip, which is in our one of our network pastors. You know, we are supposed to be a servant of God, gone into such a situation where he has been put under that. So pastors are in great demand by our own people to come and pray for the infected people. And if pastor doesn't go, then our own people get so much of displeased situation. So they go and pray, and then they get into such a serious situation. So now this is one of that kind, and I am also going to read out this to you. This is from one of the network leaders in the northeastern state. Let me go back to his own. Where am I? Yeah, here. Not in this. Not in this. Not in this. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. This is our pastor writing to me. Dear friends and family of God, with a heavy heart, it is to update you that my father, Ranjit Narjinari, has left the earthly home to be with the Lord eternally. He'll be laid to rest today at about 12 noon at his residence. And, he had asked us to pray, and we had put our prayer request in our network prayer center, and he is no more now. So that is another thing. So now coming back to our situation, you all know, many of you have provided help for our widows, right? So these are our widows from eastern part of the world, and we know we can only encourage giving the Bible and tell them Let us believe in the word of God, and God will heal. This is only one section. In few days, I'll be getting, because our, it is so risky and to send our pastors to go into these areas and be with them. And from the older people, our own pastor leader, who's sitting there, he can get affected, and then we have to rush him to the hospital. But then in this part of the world, we do not have much medical facilities. Some of you have visited our place and have seen, and there are not much facilities. So what we are trying to do is to provide, some help in some form or the other to them. I want to tell you about, there is of course, a varied sort of report on using this medicine. You all know that. Let me go back to that. Where am I? And oh God, this is taking your time. I'm very sorry about it. So I think I need to go to this. I have played, right? So let me stop share and share the screen again, and then go back into this, and so that I can get, come on. I don't know how to go into my own this thing. Anyway, so what hydrochloroxine quine, what is that medicine? In India, we, our people actually normally go, I come here. Now, hydroxychloroquine, there is a controversial things about it, but in India, it is very easily available. And, America's frontline doctors themselves have said something positive and negative. There are two views. And hydroxychloroquine for the prevention of COVID, searching for evidence. So we have seen that the virus that causes coronavirus disease has generated a worldwide pandemic, the interruption of its spans, all that thing. You all know, I don't have to explain this to you. So I am taking out this, and I want to finally request to you, beloved, to come into this part where you can see. I hope you are able to see this. Otherwise, I'll have to stop share and then come back. That will provide you ability. Otherwise, that screen doesn't get shared, then I think I'm shared. Anyway, see, we are requesting you, my friends. You have helped a lot in the beginning of the COVID situation, but now I want to put forward one small request. A gift of $10 per person will provide basic needs to protect our widows, old men and women. Our whole concentration is on the widows and old men and women. We can give them, they don't have masks. You saw in the other photo, no sanitizer, hand wash with soap. And, we believe mostly in the ingredients, and you boil them. I do in America. I do boil my ingredients and inhale, that there are some ingredients like certain powders which we put in, and they can boil the ingredients and inhale the vapor, which is found to be effective. In the villages, they are still practicing, and we want to provide that. See, a $10 gift will give all this. Basic needs to protect widows with mask, sanitizer, with soap, few ingredients. Additional gift if you give $20. See, this month is very crucial. April from 16th onwards till May 16th. Crucial. We need to provide groceries because they cannot go to work. They cannot go to the public place. But we are able to provide. We have done it earlier when you gifted, and we want to do it again. $20 per person will enable to provide groceries. And we are also coming out with, some of these lentils and other things which are anti-pandemic. So we can provide groceries for them. Please rush your gifts to Global Mercy Foundation. I have given you the address, and please post a check that will, even if a $5 is deducted, then now we are suffering with that. We could provide for one family. So you please send a check. Or if you think you are very busy and you are not able to go in to post a check, you go to Global Mercy Foundation and go to donate button. Okay, so that will help us. I'll put donate there. So you go to donate, and then you will be able to send some amount, and please help us during this time. May God bless you. This is a second appeal I've given now during this COVID, but at this time we need your help. God bless you, and please be generous to help in a small way our Indian people who are suffering a lot these days. Thank you so much.